Thank you for the opportunity to be here and discuss this work. So I'm Victor Rentis, postdoctoral fellow here at the University of Toronto, and along with Walter, the IBH team and the HSPN researchers, we've been working on developing an instrument that supports the adoption of the learning health system framework. It's mapped against the gears, and it's meant to facilitate assessments of the extent to which your OHT or any given health system is able to enact these gears, right? And so today, as we go through the slides, as we review all of these gears, we're going to introduce this instrument bit by bit and discuss a little bit about its purpose, how it's structured, the development methods used, some early findings from pilot tests, feedback on how we've presented some of the data visualizations with the survey data, with the data we collect with the instrument would be highly valuable as we're iterating the tool and developing an application methodology so that we can standardize an approach to assessing a learning health system's capabilities. And then we'll discuss a little bit on the results and how we can use these findings to improve our capability levels. And so using the survey findings to facilitate the development of learning health systems capabilities. The measurement tool, as I said, is mapped against the 5 gears. As you can see, the 5 gears from the learning health system action framework. So I'll talk a little bit about what the tool does. So again, it's mapped across these gears, and so it identifies capability levels for each one of these gears, right? The tool is meant to be completed by an interprofessional audience and interprofessional collaborators. So all of the roles represented here in this webinar. So executive leaders, managers, clinicians, QI leads, data scientists, researchers, operational supports, so that we can gather input from a broad range of system actors. People tend to have expertise in their parts of their system and knowledge about what's going on in their areas, but not on the system as a whole sometimes. And so what we want is to gather a broad range of inputs on how well we're enacting these gears so that we can have a collective assessment. Right. And so what the tool does is meant to enable to create a self-assessment. So for an OHT or for a health system to assess itself for planning purposes, right? And establish that shared understanding of that current state of development across these 5 gears for planning purposes. Okay, and so how is the tool structured? We've gone through iterations now, and in its current form, it is a survey that has understandable terminology across disciplines. So we conducted cognitive tests with clinicians, with leaders, with patient representatives, with researchers to ensure that the terminology resonates with the audience, with the different audiences. It's generalizable across clinical settings. So we use clinical or clinically neutral terminology. Low measurement burden. It takes around 20 minutes to complete. It's got 40 items in total. Most of them are Likert scale, where we ask people to evaluate the extent to which the gears are enacted in practice, right? And there are qualitative sections where participants have the opportunity to provide open-ended comments on specific barriers or opportunities or challenges, change ideas. That could be valuable as we aggregate findings and provide a thorough assessment of your capability levels. Okay, so I have here a section of the tool to illustrate. This is the first gear, the section pertaining to the first gear, the analytics and population insights. And so as you can see, there's a brief definition of what we mean by that gear. So the tool has a demographic section at the end where we collect input, and that option is there. What we do is we present a series of statements regarding the specific activities to be enacted in each gear, and we ask participants to rate the extent to which they're done. They are enacted across their program or their organization. And so the response options range from we never do this to we do this nearly all of the time as part of the way we do business. That's part of routine operations, which is the goal of the learning health systems, to be able to do these things on a routine basis as part of the way the organization operates, right? And so these are the 4 questions. The first questions in this section. So it's talking about the use of administrative or local EMR data to measure quality outcomes and prioritize patient populations, using patient survey methods to assess experience or reported outcomes, qualitative methods, data modeling. The second part of this first section, so it's still the analytics and population insights. So 2 more questions of equity analysis and whether or not we aim to identify inequities and prioritize equity deserving groups, and actively engaging a diverse array of partners throughout. And then there's an open-ended section where people have the opportunity to provide those comments. We do have at the end of the tool a definition for what we mean by each one of these scales. In this slide, we present the specific attributes that are measured within each one of the gears. So for each gear, these are the specific activities or elements that we are assessing against and creating scores for, right? I'm also not going to go through each one of these. This is just so you have a sense for how each gear is divided into subconstructs that we are assessing against and evaluating your capability levels, right? And so if you look at that 6th column, those are the accelerants and moderators that Walter mentioned, and that is a short list that is representative of those elements, and this is just to illustrate that we're looking at all of these specific attributes within each one of these gears. Okay, this illustrates early findings from one of the pilot tests. We calculated the aggregate mean scores for each one of these gears based on survey respondents, and we're able to assess performance, if you will, or the capability levels for each one of these gears in terms of the scale. Right, and so this, according to the data we collected for this pilot test, the co-design gear has the lowest mean. It could be the largest opportunity for improvement there. And so one of the key objectives of this tool is to facilitate the prioritization of areas for improvement. Right, it is likely that there are opportunities for improvement in all gears, and you want to develop capability to be able to enact all of them. But which ones are the most pressing? Which ones are the ones that are lagging behind and that you need to work on the most? And so we aim to facilitate this prioritization by providing these scores.